Hello all, welcome to the 5OCN Academy. So we are learning introduction of vector physics. In part 1 we learned definition of the vectors and scalars as well as representation of the vectors and scalars. Today we will learn three things, mostly addition and subtraction of the vectors, then dot product or scalar product of the vectors, and then cross product or vector product of the vectors. So basically dot product of or scalar product of the vectors, as the name is scalar. So if we will do the product of two vectors, then in output or in result we will get a scalar value that is called the scalar product or dot product. So suppose there is a two vector, one is called a vector. So I explained how to represent the vectors. So suppose this is a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap. Then there is another vector which is called b vector. So this is represented as b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap. Suppose the angle between these two vectors is theta, then the scalar product of these two vectors or dot product of these two vectors is called a dot b is equal to mod of a vector into mod of b vector into cos of theta, angle between these two vectors. Now suppose we don't know the angle between these two vectors, okay, and we know only this information, then how we have to do? So for that we have to know the relation between dot products of our unit vectors called I cap, j cap and k cap. So suppose, as I explained, I, j and k cap are the unit vectors along x, y and z direction respectively. This is I cap, this is j cap, this is k cap. Then if I will found, suppose I cap dot I cap, then angle between the I and I is what? Suppose theta, which is 0 degree, right? So if I will write I from this formula, if I will write, then I cap mod I cap into cos of 0 degree. So value of cos of 0 degree is 1, right? So mod of I cap, since it is unit vector, then by the definition of the unit vector, I cap is equal to 1, I cap is equal to 1, cos 0 is equal to 1. Then I dot I cap, what I will get? I dot I cap is equal to 1. Similarly, if we will find j cap dot j cap, then angle between the j cap and j cap, both vectors are in the same direction, is 0. Theta is equal to 0, right? Then it will also be 1. Similarly, k dot k cap will also be 1. So that means I dot I, j dot j as well as k dot k factors, dot product of between these unit vectors will be 1. Now if we will take any different two different unit vectors which are in the different directions, like I cap dot j cap, then the angle between these I cap and j cap is 90 degree, right? I cap j cap, this is in x direction, this is in y direction, right? This is in y direction, this is in x direction, so 90 degree. Then mod of I cap mod of j cap into cos of 90, this will become 1, this will become 1, but this will what? Cos 90 is 0, then whole term is 0. So that means if the dot product between any two unit vector which are perpendicular to each other is what? 0, right? Or k dot I is 0, right? So the conclusion is I dot I is equal to j dot j is equal to k dot k is equal to 1, and I dot j is equal to j dot k is equal to k dot I is equal to 0. Okay, so then we don't know the angle between this, we know only this information. Now how we will calculate a dot b? So for the calculation of a dot b, we will write simply a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap dot b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap, right? So now just do the calculation, just do the calculation like simple multiplication. Okay, so a1 b1, okay, so a1 b1 are scalars, a1 b1 I dot I, okay, I dot I plus a2 b2, a2 b2 j dot j dot j plus a3 b3 and what k dot k. All other terms like this, okay, or like this are will be 0 because they will come with another unit vector of another direction. Then what it will come? a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 p3, right? So this is the a dot b vector, or scalar product of the vectors, or dot product of the vector, because you can see here only we are getting a scalar value, not a vector. You cannot see any unit vector I, j or k in this, so that means this is a scalar value, so that it is called a scalar. Now next is the cross product or is vector product of the vectors. So again consider any two vectors which are a vector a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap. Another vector is b vector, which is called b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap. Now if the angle between these two vectors is theta, then the cross product a cross b of these two vectors is mod of a mod of b into sine theta into n cap, where where n cap is the unit vector along perpendicular to the plane in which a and b vectors lies. Okay, so suppose, what is the meaning of this line? What is the meaning of this line? N cap is the unit vector. Suppose this is a xy plane, okay, xy plane. So now this is a x, this is y. Some vector a is this vector, some vector b is this vector, okay. Angle between these two vectors is theta. Then the direction of the cross product of this vector is perpendicular outward to the this plane, okay. A cross b is perpendicular to the out of this plane, so you can find it very easily. Suppose we don't know the angle between these two factors, then again how we will find the uh, cross product. So to find the cross product, we have to uh, solve a matrix. Suppose a cross b, okay, we have to make a matrix where I have to write I cap, j cap and k cap, okay. Here I have to write a1 all the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap for vector A. Okay, so for A vector, I cap coefficient is A1, j cap coefficient is A2, okay, A1, A2, k cap coefficient is A3, right? Similarly, for B vector, I have to write all the coefficient of I, j and k. Okay, so I cap coefficient is B1, j cap coefficient is B2, k cap coefficient is B3. Now, how to solve this matrix? So we have to solve this matrix. We have to write I cap. Now we have to close. We have to close. We have to close uh, this whole part as well as this whole part, and then do the multiplication this A2 B3 and then this minus A3 B2. Then we have to write second one, this j, and j we have to write in minus j cap. Then we have to close this thing, okay, as well as this thing, okay. Now what we will multiply? We will multiply this a1 to this b3, okay. So a1 b3 minus this b1 to this b3, okay. So b1 a3, right, plus, okay. Then we have to write k cap, okay, k cap into, we have to stop, we have to close this thing and this thing, then simply multiply this a1 to b2, a1 b2 minus this thing to this b1 a2, okay. So this will give us the a cross b vector, okay. So simply here you can see here all the I, j and k terms are present, so that we can say these are the basically uh, these are basically our uh, vector quantity we are getting, okay. So now this I explained, but the next thing is similarly to the dot product, what is the value of I cross j, j cross k, j cross j, I cross I? That means the value between the unit vectors, so that we can also easily find. How we can find? Suppose this is your I cap, this is your j cap, this is your k cap. So by the definition, I cap cross j cap, if we want to find, so what happen? Mod of I cap, mod of j cap, sine, how much sine? In between I and j, the angle is 90 degrees, right? So sine 90. Now again, n cap. So what is the n cap? The perpendicular plane to the I cap and j cap, right? So what is the perpendicular plane between I cap and j? Perpendicular direction between, perpendicular direction between I cap and j cap. So between I cap and j cap, perpendicular direction is k cap, right? This one only. So k cap. Hence I cap and mod of I cap is 1, mod of j cap is 1, sin 90 is 1, k cap. So that I cap cross j cap is equal to k cap, right? Suppose I want to find j cross I. Is it similar to k cap? Answer is no, because j cross I, okay, the how it will follow? Mod of j, mod of I, sine 90 degree. Now perpendicular plane to the j cross I. J is this, I is this. So it will basically follow this j cross I will be, basically follow the right hand palm rule or screw rule. So that if we will go from J to I, so that J to I is in this direction, then our thumb will go to the down direction, right? Down direction means perpendicular below the plane, that means minus k cap. Okay, so j cross I will be minus k cap. Okay, similarly if I want to find I cross I, then what will be this value? So I cross I will be basically mod of I and then sine of 0, because angle between this is 0, and k cap, so it is becoming 0. So I cross I becomes 0. So the conclusion is all I cross I, j cross j, k cross k become 0, while I cross j, j cross k, k cross I become, this will become k cap, this will become I cap, this will become j cap. In opposite, in like j cross I will be minus k, and so on. Okay, so this is the basically conclusion of this cross product or scalar product. The next part is the addition and subtraction of the factors. So suppose we have two vectors, a vector and b vector. So again a1 I cap plus a2 j cap plus a3 k cap, and b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus b3 k cap. Then angle between these two is theta. Then how we will find? Suppose suppose these are two vectors. One is this a vector, okay, another is this b vector. Angle between these two is, I assumed, theta. Then suppose r vector is the resultant vector and giving us a plus b vector. Then how we will find the direction of r? Suppose this one is some r vector, okay, this one is some r vector, and this one is some, okay, this one is some r vector. Then how we have to find this magnitude of r vector as well as direction of r vector? So to find that, assume this thing, okay, this. So it should be also, it is also alpha. Since this one is alpha, then this one is also alpha. Okay, this one is b, and this one is b in modulus, right? So now this is, if this is, sorry, this one is theta, then this one is theta, right? Not alpha, sorry, theta. Okay, so then if we will see this triangle, which triangle? Suppose this is a, not a, don't assume a, because a we already assumed. So suppose m, this one is some n, this one is some o. So in triangle m n o, what we can write? What we can write? We can write basically m o का whole square is equal to o n का whole square plus a m n का whole square. Now what we can write to mn? Mn we can write m, suppose this point is some q, so mq plus qn का whole square, right? Now what is the on? So this angle is theta, this angle is theta, then on is basically b sine theta, right, का whole square, plus what is mq? Mq is basically a plus qn. Qn is this one, this one. So what is qn? Qn is b cos theta, right? B cos theta. So it will go right like b square sin square theta plus a square plus b square cos square theta plus 2ab cos theta, right? So this one and this one gives us 1 sin b square, you can take common, so a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, right? So this is your r square. Okay, so r square is comes like that. Now what is the angle for this r? What is the angle? So we can again we can apply tan alpha. Okay, in this triangle MNO, similar MNO, so tan alpha, what it will give? Tan alpha is ON upon basically MN, right? So ON is what? Our b sin theta upon a plus b cos theta. So alpha is equal to b sin theta tan inverse of b sin theta upon a plus b cos theta. So this is the direction of that angle. Now similarly, if we will see the subtraction of this, then the how do the subtraction? Nothing. Suppose this is a b vector, then b minus b is in this direction, right? Then we will do the same calculation here only. What happen? It will come minus. Okay, so thank you. Hope you all enjoy the class, and if you like this, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.